Hey everybody, how about we go to Hawaii? Well, maybe another day. Right now we could just eat some Hawaiian inspired foods. How about that? Some nice homemade Hawaiian rolls, 3 cups of flour, 1.5 tablespoons of dry yeast, 1 tablespoon of sugar, and 1 teaspoon of salt. We're gonna whip an egg in our milk. I'm gonna let that spin a little bit. I'm gonna add some pineapple juice. And this is a cold fermentation, so all the ingredients are cold. So it will take a little bit longer to rise. This dough actually took about 2 hours to rise. You want the dough to be nice and sticky. You want it to be smooth, but you want it to be sticky. So in an oiled bowl, you're gonna throw that dough in there and you're gonna let it rise. Like I said, 2 hours. In the meantime, let's grind some meat. I got about 1.5 pounds of lean sirloin. I'm grinding up. I'm using lean sirloin because I'm going to use some pork, and the pork is going to be fatty, so I get a nice 70-30 ratio. Makes for a nice flavor, nice juicy meatball. I'm going to let that chill for a little bit. In the meantime, I'm going to cut up some onion, some ginger, some garlic, you get a pan nice and hot, some avocado oil, saute the onions and the ginger. You want the onions just to get like a little bit brown, not too brown, but a little bit brown. You're gonna throw in your garlic. You're just gonna toss that around just a little bit. You don't want to burn your garlic and get it bitter. You're gonna add some white wine, just to deglaze the pan. You don't want a whole lot. About 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. And you're gonna let this chill. You're gonna let it sit for a minute on the stove. You're gonna take it off the heat. In the meantime, let's cut up some bread. I like to take the crust off. So we're gonna take the crust off and make cubes. I'm going to add some milk to the cubes. And you just want the milk to cover the bread. You don't want them to be swimming like an endless sea of milk. You just want a little bit of milk in there to cover the bread, just to make it soften up. And then we're going to add the milk and the bread to a blender, because I want it really nice and smooth. I want like a slurry, so it's going to be nice and smooth. And I'm going to add 3 eggs to this as well. And mix it up real well. In the mixing bowl, we're going to throw our meat, some salt and pepper, the slurry that we just made, and all that beautiful onion, garlic, and ginger mix. You want to get it all in there. You want that to be a little bit cool when you're doing it too. And then we're going to put a paddle on our mixer and mix this really well. You don't want to over mix it, but you just want to mix it really well. Now it's time to make our meatballs. You don't have to pack the meatballs really tight. You just want to make them nice. That's why I use an ice cream scoop. I just want to make them nice and light. I got a preheated oven at 425. We get our meatballs all set here. We're going to put them in the oven. It takes about 25 to 30 minutes. So while those are cooking, we're going to flour up our table, put our dough on our table and stretch it out just a little bit. And we're gonna make some portions. I make about 2.5 ounces, and then I'm gonna roll them by hand. I'm gonna roll them in my hand so that they're nice and round. There's no seams, so they look like rolls. It's gonna take about an hour to get the second rise. The second rise is always a little quicker, so about an hour, and we're gonna egg wash them. Not too heavy. You don't want it too dark when they cook, so egg wash light in the oven, 375. Takes about 25 minutes to 30 minutes, and out they come. Look at that, nice and puffed up and golden brown, and we're gonna let them cool. In the meantime, we're gonna make our sauce. I had some pork demi-glaze that I made. I'm gonna add about 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. It's about 2.5 cups of demi-glaze, some pureed garlic, and yes, I did cheat. I got the already pureed garlic. 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, and I'm gonna blend that so it's nice and smooth. We're gonna toast some sesames. I like the way they smell. It makes the whole kitchen nutty. We're gonna add some sesame oil, some butter, and let that go. And then we're gonna add our stock, and we're gonna let this cook down. When the cornstarch starts to cook, it will tighten up. It'll look really nice. It's gonna be nice, silky, buttery. It's gonna be smooth. It's gonna be really nice. When it's done, it should coat the back of the spoon. So we're gonna pull our meatballs out, let them sit for a minute, and we're gonna add them to the sauce. When that's in the sauce, when those meatballs are in the sauce, we're just gonna let it sit for a little while. I'm gonna prep our Hawaiian rolls. We're gonna take a clean and sanitized kitchen shears, and we're gonna pop the tops off. Actually gonna make like a pocket. And don't worry, all that bread I'm taking out of there, I'm gonna use for something else later. And we're gonna pack a little meatball in each one of those socks and top it a little bit with some more of the sauce. And then I've got some mozzarella cheese, Parmesan cheese. I use Pecorino Romano, and I top it like, pretty generously. I'm gonna put this under the broiler. I don't want it to melt like pizza. I just want it to melt evenly. I'm gonna take it out, and look at that. Look how nice and cheesy and oozy and goozy. So we're gonna put some on a plate. My wife just got home. She's gonna be the official taste tester. Look at all that cheese, ooey and gooey. It's amazing. Yeah, she's digging it. All right, everybody. So don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. And again, till next time, take care, brush your hair.